Millhaven, Indiana was the kind of town where people left their doors unlocked and the church bell still marked the hour. At its heart was Dr. Elaine Porter, the town's only full-time physician. At 42, she had built her practice from the ground up after returning from medical school, choosing not to chase bigger paychecks in the city, but instead to serve the community that had raised her. Patients described her as calm, meticulous, and unflinchingly kind. That's why her disappearance in the summer of 2013 left Millhaven reeling. On June 18th, Elaine saw her last patient around 6:30 p.m. A receptionist recalled she seemed tired, but not unusual for her. Security footage from the clinic's parking lot showed Elaine leaving in her silver Honda Civic at 7:04 p.m. She never made it home. Her husband, Daniel Porter, a high school history teacher, reported her missing the next morning after she failed to return calls and didn't show up for early appointments. Police at first suspected a simple accident, maybe her car running off one of the winding county roads. But no wreckage was found. The investigation turned quickly toward Daniel. Neighbors told police the marriage had seemed strained in recent months. One even recalled a heated argument on the Porters' front porch a week earlier. Still, there was no evidence tying Daniel to his wife's disappearance. Then, on June 21st, Elaine's car was found abandoned 20 miles outside town, parked neatly behind an old feed mill. Her purse and cell phone were inside. The driver's seat was adjusted farther back than Elaine's petite frame would require. Detectives uncovered another thread, a series of late-night calls Elaine had been making to a local contractor, Scott Keller, who had recently remodeled her clinic. Keller, married with 2 children, insisted the calls were professional about billing disputes. Phone records, however, suggested they'd spoken almost daily for weeks. The discovery shattered Millhaven's sense of safety. Residents organized nightly search parties. Volunteers combed the woods, drained ponds, and canvassed every roadside ditch. Local churches held vigils, their pews packed shoulder to shoulder, with people praying for Elaine's return. Rumors spread like wildfire: an affair, a jealous husband, a random abduction by a drifter. Each theory divided neighbors who had once trusted one another without question. 2 months after Elaine's disappearance, police finally received a lead. A hunter in a remote section of forest came across disturbed soil and what looked like scraps of clothing. A shallow grave was uncovered. Inside were Elaine's remains, identified through dental records. An autopsy revealed blunt force trauma to the back of the skull. She had likely died the night she vanished. Attention turned again to Scott Keller. Cell tower data placed his phone near the burial site, within hours of Elaine leaving her office. When confronted, Keller confessed. He admitted to a romantic relationship with Elaine that had turned sour. On the night of June 18th, she told him she intended to end things and confess to her husband. In a panic, Keller struck her with a tire iron, then transported her body to the woods. Keller was convicted of second-degree murder and sentenced to 35 years in prison. His wife filed for divorce soon after. In Millhaven, the scars lingered. The clinic, once a symbol of Elaine's devotion, closed permanently. Patients still spoke of her years later. The way she would sit and listen without rushing. The way she remembered small details about their lives. Elaine Porter's disappearance had begun as a mystery that shook the town's foundation. Its resolution left Millhaven forever changed, a place that had lost not just a doctor, but its innocence.